All right, so we're going to get started on our backs. Like we typically do. You don't need any props. We'll start with that diaphragmatic breathing that we've done before. I'll demonstrate it sitting up just because it might be easier for you, but feel free to lie down on your back and just settle in. Settle into the space. And what you may find is lying on your back, there may be just a spontaneous exhale or a sigh that comes with that. Just welcome that. Getting our body close to the ground. We tap into that earth element, that sense of rooting, that sense of safety, that sense of comfort. So just take a moment here in this space on your back, allowing the floor to just soften the muscles. And we'll just do a few belly breaths first. So as you breathe in, invite the belly to expand. We'll start off just simply. And as you exhale, allow the body and the belly to contract. So you breathe in and the belly expands like a balloon. And you exhale and the belly deflates. And now you may find it helpful to take one hand and move it up to your ribs. So you have one hand on the belly and one on the ribs. As you breathe in, invite the breath to fill the belly and then keep filling so it fills up the ribs. And then exhale, ribs and belly. And just repeat this at a rhythm that feels comfortable for you. And what I've found can be a valuable practice is to pause throughout the day and just do this breath. And just notice many of us don't breathe into the belly when we're not focusing on it. And so we practice on our mat intentionally with this breath. And then to take it to the next level, maybe you try this throughout your day. All right, for the diaphragmatic breath, it's very similar. We breathe into the belly, but now you visualize the diaphragm, which rests underneath the rib cage. You imagine that dropping
Is
into
the
the
heat
belly, and that
turned up?
yes.
Heat turned up?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna mute
Turn
this so there's
down.
no background noise. But if you have a question, feel free to unmute and ask me or
Turn
put it in
down.
the text. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm flies up underneath the belly. So you breathe in, visualize it's like a parachute. It drops into the belly, and then as you exhale, it flies up under the ribs. Now, if you're lying on your back, you may be able to, as you breathe into the belly, you may be able to feel the back of the ribs expand as well, because you have the feedback of the floor. So just repeat this now with a gentle awareness on the back of the body. Now let's add a retention. So as you breathe in, the belly expands. As you breathe out, hold the breath out. Try to keep the belly relaxed. And then think about gently drawing the lower ribs towards each other. And then when you feel the desire for a breath, you let the breath inflate the body. I'll guide you through that a couple more times. So the breath is in, belly and ribs. Then you release the breath. You hold the breath out. Try to keep the lower belly relaxed, but think about drawing the lower ribs towards each other. This is not easy. This requires probably a not very often neural pathway from the brain to the body. So this connection may not be there. Just repeat on your own. But the more we visualize and practice this, all of a sudden, one day, we're going to feel, oh, I can do that. Some of these pathways, just like, if you don't drive somewhere all the time, we may forget if we're not using a GPS our way. The same thing happens with certain of these lesser known sort of muscle contractions in the lower ribs. We may not typically be focusing on those subtle muscles, drawing them close together. All right, and then just return to your natural breath. And on your inhale, press into your feet. Let your hips float up towards the ceiling. So we've got a nice gentle stretch on the front of the hips. You may feel your glutes engage. Gently press into the back of the head and the back of the shoulders. And you might find that creates a little space behind the neck. Now you could stay right here. Now, if you're looking for a more restorative practice, you could take a block, slide it underneath the tailbone and hang out here. Just want to offer some of those suggestions or options. Next, on your inhale, draw the arms up towards the ceiling. So palms are facing towards each other. Slide the shoulder blades, or the arm bones into the shoulder blades. So you want to resist kind of lifting the shoulder blades off the ground. Keep the lower ribs drawing in towards each other and begin to draw the hands towards the wall behind you. Now, if you keep all of this intact, you're probably not going to touch the ground. You may even be about a foot from the ground, and that's okay. We're practicing keeping this integration of the shoulders into the body and the lower ribs drawing towards each other. And just pause and rest here for a moment. And then inhale the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower the hips and the arms down. Clasp behind the right thigh and begin stretching the right leg. So this could be a nice way to just warm up the knee joints and the hamstrings. And we are going to be challenging the hamstrings a bit this morning. So we want to get the blood flow there. And again, even though it's spring, the mornings are still a little chilly. So it can take a little bit longer for our muscles to warm up. And I don't know if you're noticing, but I add a little flex of the foot when I get to the top. And this creates a nice stretch on the back of the calf. And again, it's also warming up all those little bones in my feet and ankle as well. Pause when the leg is straight and just gently press the back of the leg into the hands. And then lower the leg down. Let's draw the left leg in and just repeat. So it can be interesting to notice when you start on this second side, the difference in the range of motion from the side you just finished up. And just sort of validating how this warming up of the joints and the muscles, you can feel the effect after just a few rounds of this. And you're welcome to add that flex of the foot so you get that stretch along the back of the calf. All right, next time the leg is extended straight, pause here, gently press the back of the leg into the hands. The hands into the legs. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And release the left leg down. Let's cross the right ankle over the left, creating that figure 4. Right hand is just below the knee. The leg presses into the hand presses into the leg. So we're going to be doing some warrior 2s and some triangle poses. So again, just preparing this hip area, warming it up, opening it up before we get into the poses. And then let's do the other side. And as you do this, you're gently pressing the hand into the leg into the hand. Just notice if any tension creeps up into the jaw or the face or the shoulders. And if so, sometimes just being aware of it is enough. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoops, sorry. And the area relaxes. All right, let's lower the left leg down. Arms come out into a T. Now, notice how this feels. If it's too much of a stretch, lower your hands more towards the feet so you decrease the amount of stretch. If you want more, you could bend your elbows coming into that cactus arm. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat. And then let the knees flow from side to side like windshield wipers. And again, the hips are going to restrict this movement. And just be mindful that the knees don't try to take the degree of stretch beyond what the hips want. And think about, so as you drop the knees to the right, just think about that left muscle along the hip, just lengthening, finding space, and feel free to linger. So feel free to hold to one side if you like, and just watch the body open. Just a few more breaths. So if you lingered on one side, you might want to give the other side its lingering moment. And back up to center, heel toe the feet together. Release the arms down. And we're going to rock on or roll up depending on what your energy level's like, how your body's feeling. We're going to come to table pose. So you may want to pad your knees if you're on a wooden floor. And fingers are spread wide, slightly turned in. Press into the hands so you feel the muscles engage. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. And then a few cat and cows here, warming up the spine. And again, it may not be as obvious here, but you may notice that as you repeat this action, the body wakes up. The flexibility begins to increase. Now pause in a neutral spine. Take a look over the left shoulder. Come back through center, look over the right shoulder. And just flow side to side with the intention of lengthening the side body. Lengthening the space between the lower rib and the top of the hip. Giving your neck a nice stretch as it looks over the shoulder. And then pause here Inhale the left arm up for thread the needle. Nice open stretch. This is similar. Now, when you do this, try to keep that left hip level. So the hip may want to open up, but try to keep your hips level. So you're getting this rotation in the thoracic, the mid part of the spine. And then take that left hand under the right, drop down onto the shoulder, and you can tent the right fingers. Thread the needle. Next inhale, on thread, sweep up, counter stretch, back to center. Right arm extends up, keep the hips level. Right arm underneath the left. Come up on the tips of the left hand. On thread, counter stretch. Back to center. Toes curl under, either downward dog or take a child's pose. And invite intuitive movements, maybe pedaling out the legs if you're in downward dog, or just gently rocking the hips side to side if you're in child's pose. And then we'll meet up in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Nice deep knee bend. Forearms resting on the thighs. Take a look at the alignment of the feet. You want the outsides of the feet parallel to the outsides of the mat. Hands come onto the hips and inhale, you rise up. Take a gentle back bend. Invite stretch on the front of the hips. And then grab your tie or your long sleeve shirt. If you have a tie, you're going to double it over, and we're going to start about maybe 18 inches apart. Inhale, reach the arm up overhead. Now, you're pulling the hands apart. So as you do this, you want to feel the muscles kind of hug the bones here. Put a generous bend in the knees. Oh, sorry. Let's take it behind your back. Behind your back. Gently pull it apart. So you want to feel, again, the muscles hugging the bones, a nice deep bend in the knee. And you fold forward. The arms reach up towards the ceiling. Now here's something you don't usually hear the cue for in yoga. Let the shoulders come to the ears. So shoulders drop towards the ears. You keep pulling the tie apart. Now keep the shoulders where they are. Keep the shoulders near the ears. Keep the arms where they are. As you come up to standing, so this is a little tricky. So you're keeping the shoulders up towards the ears. So it looks something like this. And then let them melt away. All right, we'll do that 2 more times. If that felt like you had space for more of a stretch, you could walk your hands a little bit closer. So nice generous bend in the knees, pulling the hands apart. Fold forward. You can begin to straighten the legs so you feel that hamstring opening, shoulders towards the ears. Okay, make sure the lower back feels okay with this. If the lower back doesn't feel okay, deep bend in the knees, maybe you even let go of the tie and put the hands on the hips. On your inhale, you're going to rise up, keep the shoulders towards the ears. And then release them away. Whew. All right, one last time. Maybe you take the hands a little closer. Maybe you take them further apart if you find that this just isn't working for you. Gently pulling the hands apart. Knees bend deeply. You fold forward. Relax the head, the neck, shoulders towards the ears. Lengthen the backs of the legs. Inhale, you rise. Try to keep the shoulders towards the ears for as long as you can. And then melt them away. Release the tie. And just roll out the shoulders here. All right, I want to just check in. That was new and maybe a little awkward. See if anyone had any questions on that. That was good. I got 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up. Awesome. All right, let me just check here. All right. So now we're going to come into a Warrior 2 flow. Most of this should be familiar to you. Inhale, reach up, nice, gentle back bend like a good morning stretch. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back for Warrior 2. So check the alignment. Straighten the front leg. As you bend the front leg, watch the knee. Pause here. Open up the arms. Nice, good morning stretch. Feel the shoulder blades drape down the back of the body. Hands are flexed like you're pushing away 2 walls. Nice. Flip the palms up. Inhale, straighten and reach. On your exhale, bend the elbows. Pull down. So look for that stretch across the chest. And then inhale, straighten and reach. 2 more times. Now watch the back of the shoulders in your mind's eye. So have this movement coming from the back of the shoulders. After you've done 3, pause here. Extend the arms out, palms down. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Inhale through Warrior 2. Come to the front of the mat. It can be handy to have blocks here to help you step forward. And then inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale right into a forward fold. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back for Warrior 2. Just take a glance down, check the alignment of your legs, then straighten the left foot. As you bend it, watch the traction of the knee. Open the arms up. Feel the shoulder blades draw down the body. Hands are flexed. You're pressing away these imaginary walls. Flip the palms up. Straighten the leg, reach the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows, pull down. Repeat this. So on the pull down, feel the chest broadening. Feel the undoing of the shoulder hunching that the cold weather can sometimes facilitate. And then you pause, extend the arms out, flip the palms down. Flip the front palm up and reverse. Inhale through Warrior 2, come to the front of your space. And inhale, rise, gentle back. Exhale, fold forward, adding on. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back, open into your warrior two. Nice. Dancing warrior. Take your right hand or forearm on the right thigh. Reach the left arm overhead. Lower body is your foundation. Press into the feet, rise up, and then reverse. So 2 more times. Inhale, keep the lower body just as it is. Side angle. Root to rise. Warrior two into reverse. 1 more time. Flow with your breath. Steady lower body. Fluid upper body. We're stretching and rinsing out the lungs. Come back into your warrior two. Nice pause here. The hands come on the hips and spin the heels in, toes out for goddess pose. Just let the hips kind of shimmy from side to side as you sink down a little bit more. Now, Kapalabhati breath. Again, if you're feeling a little dizzy or you're congested, this may not feel right in your body. You can try it. And if it doesn't feel right, you return to your regular breath. It can be helpful to have hands on the lower belly. So we breathe in and then it's a forceful exhale for 30 counts. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten the legs, rise up. Nice. Just take a moment. Sometimes there's a little dizziness from that breath. On your inhale, arms reach up. On your exhale, knees bend, maybe gathering up imaginary, maybe pansies or crocuses from the ground, and then rise up. We'll do 2 more times. Exhale, bend the knees, gather. And inhale, rise. 1 last time. Exhale, gather. And inhale, rise. Nice. Hands come to the hips. Spin your toes in. Flexing forward. You're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. You just take a moment, kind of ease in, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. The hands are close to the ground. You could extend them to the ground. Experiment with shifting the weight to the balls of the feet and the heels. Again, waking up those hamstrings. Relax the neck and the jaw. Then hands come to the hips as you slowly rise up. Take a moment, a counter stretch here. Feel the belly stretch, the front of the hips stretch, front of the chest stretches, and the shoulders melt down the back of the body. Come to neutral. Heel toe your feet together. Take a little hop turn. And we'll come to the front of our mat again to do the other side. Inhale, you rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, lengthen the spine. Step the right leg back, open into your warrior two. Left hand or forearm on the left thigh, right arm overhead. There's your side angle. Lower body is your root. Inhale, rise up. Reverse. How stable and steady can you keep the lower body as you flow with your breath? So inhale, you come out of the pose. Exhale, you come into the pose. We call this a rhythmic vinyasa, flowing in between two poses, guided by the rhythm of your breath. Next time you're in reverse warrior, just pause. Enjoy that stretch along the left rib cage. Inhale up into your warrior two. Spin the heels in, toes out, or repeat the goddess sequence. Just shimmy, shimmy side to side. Hips get heavy. Tailbone is lengthening. Pause. You might want to just check the alignment of your knees, making sure that they're tracking towards the second and third toe. And have your hands on your belly. It's kind of like this pumping. So having the hands there can sometimes help direct the breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale, straighten the legs. Turn the toes forward. Inhale, rise. Enjoy the opening of the front of the body, releasing the winter hunch. Exhale, hands to the hips. Flex forward. As you flex forward, can you keep expanding the chest? Maybe the hands come to the ground. Relax the neck and jaw. Hands to the hips, inhale, rise, gentle back bend. And then heel toe the feet together. All right. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. So, does everyone have a wall that they can lean up against, or a couch, or a chair, or a counter, like your kitchen counter behind? Diane, you could probably do, or yeah, that chair will work. All right, so we're gonna do these movements are maybe a little different from what we've done before. So feel free to ask me questions if you're not sure. We're gonna start with a downward downward dog at the wall. And we're gonna practice this downward dog. So your head's not going below your heart. Maintaining a nice long spine, not rounding the spine. And then we're going to lift one leg up. So we come into sort of a warrior three, but we're holding onto the wall. And then we'll take it away from the wall. So let me just get set up here so you see me okay. Put this to the side so you're not looking just at the behind. This is gonna work. Sorry, I should have figured this setup before. Sorry if I'm making you seasick. All right, so hands are going on the wall and you're walking back. So we've done this before. It takes a little bit to kind of figure out how far back. But what I'm looking for here is a nice long, especially the lower back. So I don't want to see this rounding. If you're rounding, then come out of it a little bit. So think about this tailbone. You're drawing that away from you. And then the bottom ribs, you're sort of knitting those together here. It's like you're trying to press the wall towards the floor. So you may feel your arms engaging. Now shift the weight to the right foot and float the left leg up behind you. Now we're going to practice, we're going to sort of warm up those glute muscles I was talking about. My left leg is staying stationary, but I'm rolling my pelvis around my right leg. And then I'm dropping it inward. So this movement is coming. This is a lot of work on that right glute. Just 3 times. And then lower the left leg. And I want to just check in. Does anyone have any questions on that? That looks good, Dee Dee. Yes. All right, so the other side. Again, find your firm half dog, your strong core. So lengthening the tailbone away and then hugging the ribs towards each other. Extend the right leg. My hips are level to start. My right leg isn't doing anything. It's just like a lever. And then I roll my pelvis around my left hip. And then I'm internally rotating. So I drop that right hip lower than my left. And then I roll the pelvis around the leg bone. A total of 3 times. Slower is better. And just notice which muscles are activated. Notice maybe also where there are limitations. And then lower the right leg down. And then come up. Just roll out the shoulders. All right, how was that? Okay. Now the next one we're going to do at the wall is we're going to extend one leg towards the wall. So I happen to have a little couch chair that I can touch on to get my balance. You could get close maybe and then step back. You want this right leg straight. This is gonna be a pretty significant hamstring stretch, and it's a core stretch. So I'm pressing my right leg into the wall. I'm keeping my hips level. I'm keeping my lower ribs towards each other. And just like with the hands, I'm trying to slide the leg down the wall. I'm trying to push the wall down towards the floor with my right leg. Now you can add on by lifting the arms up over the head like we did in the very beginning when we were in that bridge pose. So this is a lot. If you're breaking a sweat, you're in good company. Just a couple more breaths here. And then release out of this. Take a moment, just notice the 2 sides of the body. And let's do the other side. So the left leg comes to the wall. And again, you want to try to have both legs straight, but be mindful not to lock the knee. And you might find that the 2 legs, they have different flexibility. So one might go up a little bit higher. So again, you're pressing into that left heel like you're trying to slide the wall down. Hips are level. So there's a tendency when we lift this left leg, the hip hikes up. You want to level it off. Feel the core engage. And then maybe you extend the arms, but keep the ribs drawing towards each other. And you breathe. Can you do that belly rib breath here? In and out through the nose. When you're ready, release out of that. All right. Now you're ready. How was that? Okay.
My foot just keeps sliding down the wall.
Interesting. Do you have socks on?
No,
Do you have slippery wallpaper or paint maybe? You have a high gloss wall?
it's relatively new paint.
Was it both sides?
Yep.
Yeah, I might, if you're interested, if you liked that, I might just try a different wall and see if maybe you have different results.
Perhaps, yeah. Or can
Sorry,
I
I
do
don't
it
have-
with my leg? Can I do it with my leg resting on the back of a chair?
Yes, you could do that. Yep. Yep. But you
Okay.
want to, press towards and down because that's engaging a lot of the muscles there.
Okay.
You can, yeah, play around with that. All right, so now we're going to take this into a balance pose. We're going to start off with tree pose and just a low tree pose. So weights on the left foot and you let the right heel rest just above the left ankle. Level off the hips, engage the core, broaden the chest. Inhale, the arms come up. Keep the ribs drawn towards each other. Still feel the core engaged here. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. And exhale, ribs and belly. 2 more times. And welcome the wobbles. So we're not trying to create sort of a rigid tree. We want to welcome the wobbles and just navigate with them. And then release. And let's do the other side. So again, level off the hips, engage the core. Inhale the arms up. Keep the lower ribs engaged. That right knee should be supple, not rigid. And then just watch the wobbles. And watch how your body navigates them. Don't try to be too rigid. Try to keep the mind relaxed and on the breath as you breathe into the belly and the ribs. 2 more times. And release. All right, now you can repeat tree pose if it doesn't seem like warrior 3 is a good option for you today. If you're coming into warrior 3, let's start by stepping the right leg back into a crescent lunge. So we're starting our balance already because the back heel is lifted. So different than warrior 1. So practice here on the ball of the foot, and this is a great place to have hands on a chair too, or even be right near a wall. So you want the hips level, core is engaged. Hands on the hips, and you begin to shift the weight forward. Float the back leg up, but don't, just like we did at the wall, keep the right hip level with the left. Now, as when we were against the wall, we were pressing this left foot into the wall to engage the muscles. Now, if you like, you could extend the arms forward, but make sure you're not collapsing the chest here. And then release when you've had enough. All right. Let's do the other side. So stepping the left leg back. And chances are when you step the leg back, You might have to adjust this. Maybe you shimmy that front foot out to the side a little bit so that you feel more balanced. And again, focus on this hip and core area. Hips are level. If your hips are off, then that prevents the core from stabilizing you. So hips are level, belly button draws back and up, and hip points draw towards each other. Begin to shift forward. Now, when you shift forward, you're probably going to feel the glutes engage. And then float the back leg up while keeping the hips level. Think about being at the wall. Press into the right foot. Feel that fire up the muscles of the legs. Maybe extend the arms forward. Keep the chest broad. Release when you've had enough. All right. How was that? All right. Awesome. So let's do a little flow to sort of rinse all that out. A little flowing sequence of modified sun salutation. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Let the hands travel down the legs. So you're coming into a deeper forward fold. And let the body be like seaweed. Just let it flow side to side. Head is heavy, neck is relaxed. Knees bend and step back into a table pose. Toes curl under. Let's make some hip circles here. Just kind of rinsing out any holding patterns that some of those poses, sometimes when we're doing something new, can create unintentional holding patterns in the body. Let's take it the other direction and allow the neck to be part of this. So let the neck be fluid. And then come back to your table. Toes curl under and either downward dog or child's pose. Again, explore those intuitive movements, releasing whatever needs to be released. Coming back to table. And arms reach forward for Anahata Asana or puppy pose. So the Anahata heart chakra is the chakra of spring. It's located around the physical heart. The color is green. So we talked in the beginning about a lot of sort of closing up along the upper body where shoulders are rolling forward. So invite this to create that opening, undo the winter posture. So imagine you have a marble that you're rolling with your nose into Sphinx pose. Enjoy a few breaths here. Allow the lower back to rest in its natural arch. Feel free to stay here or the feet close together, passing up into a forearm plank. Now again, you want to be mindful of keeping rounding out of the lower back. Keep the lower ribs drawn towards each other. Radiate out from your center, through the heels and through the crown of the head. Just 3 more breaths. And then release down for Shalabhasana. Arms along the sides, forehead to the mat. Legs close together. Pressing into the forehead, float the legs up. So as you press into the hip bones, you might find there's a natural little lift in the legs. Just keep following that. Press the legs straight, straighter than you think here. There's a tendency to hold a little bend in the knee. And then release. Let your hands come under your forehead and windshield wiper the legs. Release the legs down. Make your way up through table. And we're going to set up for a supported fish pose. You've got 2 blocks. You can use these. If you don't have blocks, you could use a rolled up towel or blanket. Place it under the shoulder blades. If you're using blocks, I have these at the lowest level. You can adjust once you come down. The one along my spine is going lengthwise. And you could take the block behind your head as you guide yourself down. Starting with the knees bent. Arms can come out to the sides. And check in with the neck. So if you find that the chin is poking way up, you might want to elevate the head a little bit. So this is a great place to just explore how a certain configuration of the props feel in your body and then play around with making adjustments. When you feel ready, maybe you extend the legs long. Allowing that block that's supporting the upper back. Allow it to be a foundation of support where the upper body, the upper back can relax. And then with the upper back, releasing holding patterns, the front of the body can open up like a flower. So can you notice the difference in the quality between the back of the body and the front of the body? Can you feel a connection? When we soften those typically overstretched muscles of the upper back, and that can allow the front of the body to open and expand. So the back of the body we're letting go. The front of the body we're receiving. The heart chakra is about giving and receiving. Opening up to what's possible. And preparing to transition out of this by bending the legs. Maybe lifting the hips off the ground a little bit so you can just gently roll your body side to side. If this is a deep opening for you, then you want to just gently notify the muscles that you're exiting out of this. You can slide the blocks to the side. We're going to come right back on our backs. But before we do, if you want to put your socks back on, if you want to add any layers of clothing, have a blanket nearby, anything that you would like for Shavasana, just having it handy. Do a couple of gentle stretches before the final pose of Shavasana. When you're ready, you lie on your back, and once again, allow any organic sighs or exhales come out of your body. As this can signal to the body that our sort of mission at this point is to prepare our body for Shavasana. Grab your thigh and let's place it on the heel of the right foot and extend the right leg up. Extend the left leg. So here we are, warrior 3 legs again. Just allow the space in the back of the leg. And then let the tie come in the left hand and that right leg drops over to the left. Enjoy a nice spinal twist. If it feels comfortable, extend the right arm out and welcome space along the front of the shoulder blade. Sorry, the front of the shoulder, not the shoulder blade. See if you can encourage, without using your hand, that right hip to drop away from the right rib. So sometimes we place our hand there. So can we try to just encourage sort of dropping that right hip without using the right hand? And come back to center when you're ready. Remove the tie and hug the knee. Enjoy a few breaths here. Again, inviting the body to settle. Extend the right leg long. Take a moment, check in with the 2 sides of the body. Prepare for the other side. Tie goes on the heel of the left leg. You extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Maybe you extend the right leg long. Feel again that warrior 3 alignment in the legs. Tie in the right hand, and that left leg comes across the body. And you drop that left hip away from the lower left rib. Inhale to the center. Remove the strap, hug the knee. Bend the left leg long, arms reach up overhead, nice full body stretch. And check in and see if there's any final movements or poses that your body would appreciate. Otherwise, right into Shavasana. Take a moment to imagine the natural pulsations of your circulatory and lymphatic systems flowing effortlessly through your body. The benefit of your practice is helping to facilitate this gentle and necessary recirculation. Just imagine this flowing like a gentle stream might clear away stagnation and the replenishing of every cell in your body. And just acknowledging the amazing natural powers of your body to renew and cleanse. You find your mind wandering, perhaps focusing on that belly to rib breath. Anytime your mind wanders, just gently acknowledge where it's wandered to, whether it's planning or thinking or worry, and then invite it back to observing the breath. The thoughts will still be there. Allow your next breath to be a little longer and a little deeper. Allow your awareness to notice sensations in the body. Maybe offering a little wiggle of the fingers or toes. Maybe allowing the head to gently flow from side to side. You're ready, slowly making your way to your side, enjoying a pause, a moment of gratitude to your body for all it does. When you're ready, coming up to seated. Feeling the sit bones ground into the floor and the chest open, shoulders draped on your back. Feeling the winter sluggishness released from your body, a sense of spring and heart opening. If you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, deep breath in. Om. Fade. Thank you, guys.